Hi, my name is Bruce Skidgel.
Hi, my name is Tanisha Evans.
Hi, my name is Ivy Johnson.
And you're watching GPS 19.
And we're sliding into another show.
I am going to start the Board of Ed meeting. Welcome. Today is September 24th, and it's about 6:15. And our first order of business is on the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could please stand. JC, would you be willing to start it?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Our next is visitors and delegation, but I think we don't have any for this month.
We do not.
We do not? Okay, so we are going to be moving to the comments citizen portion of our agenda. And these are agenda items and other subjects of concerns that lie within the jurisdiction of the Board of Education. This is the portion of the agenda where the board welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. Board members will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and cannot respond during the comments from citizen portion of the board meeting. Citizens should make their presentation from the podium and state their name and addresses for the record. And the first person that is up on our list is Mr. Wierzbicki.
My name is John Wierzbicki. I live at 355 Brook Street. I'd like to make a few comments about the upcoming vote on proposed charter revisions. Besides being a former town councilor, RTM member, and Board of Education member, I was on 2 previous charter revision commissions. Both considered and ultimately rejected proposals for budget referenda. We never considered anything so radical or counterproductive as the proposals now before us, which require what would probably be multiple referenda in each budget cycle. The various flaws in the proposal, such as the creation of a toothless and unrepresentative Board of Finance in place of the RTM, and the probability that each year we would have multiple costly budget referenda, have been detailed in several recent letters to the editor of the day. I want to focus on the effect the proposed changes would have on our schools here in Groton, for there can be no doubt that the proponents of this charter have taken direct aim at the school system, and that one of their prime objectives is to slash funding for our schools. For only the school budget has been singled out for special consideration by the voters. There is a distinct possibility, in fact probability, that the schools would take the biggest hit if this charter is enacted. An odd thing about this proposal is that a budget can be defeated even if a majority of voters believe that the town should spend at least as much as the Town Council and Board of Education propose. If someone who believes the school budget is too low casts a vote to that effect, it is nonetheless a vote against the education budget as a whole. I've observed the dynamics in this town, and I'm sure that even if the yes votes and the no, you're spending too little votes exceed the no, you're spending too much votes, the political pressure will be toward cuts. I don't have kids in Groton School anymore, but I very much believe that we're all in this together, and that today's kids deserve an education as good, if not better, than the education my kids got. I would urge everyone who cares about our schools to vote no on November 6th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Jean-Claude Amboise.
Good evening. My name is Jean-Claude Amboise. I live at 169 Shenecosset Parkway in Groton.
I am also a representative and chairman of the Vote No Charter Revisions Committee. That is a bipartisan group of grassroots individuals that are looking to inform and educate the public on why they should be voting no. So today I'm going to do that. My plan here tonight was to give you an overview and summary of what the charter changes are for the public here and also for the group in front of us. The proposed charter revisions for the town of Groton would change important parts of Groton's government. First and foremost, and what's most important in my heart, is it would abolish the Groton's representative town meeting. All those powers would be transferred to the town council except for the adoption of an annual budget. In place of that RTM, you would be electing a 7-member Board of Finance with 1 member from each voting district, so each voting district will now only have 1 representative representing their best interest. And this body is only going to advise the town council on the annual budget. They have no power whatsoever. The town council adopted budget by the town council will then be submitted to an annual budget referendum where you would have to vote 2 times. You would have to vote on town operations and you would have to vote on the Board of Education budget. The electors can reject that government budget or education budget as being too high and too low, and this is where I have some serious concerns. A yes vote, and I just did some math in my head, if you had 450 yes votes out of 1,000, and the remaining 225 each went equally, 225 for too high, 225 for too low, as John said, that would end up being a failed vote. So then what do you do? And that would be a very challenging situation for this body as well as the superintendent of schools, the children who are using these services, and also the staff that are trying to execute these services. Look no further than Preston, folks. Preston had 3 times to go back to referendum, and if we do the math on that, each referendum vote is $20,000 more that the taxpayers have to spend. That would equal over $60,000 extra that we would have to pay. Budgets defeated at the referendum will be revised by the town council and then resubmitted for referendum, as I said, for another $20,000 cost. The role of RTM vetoing new town laws or ordinances would be changed by the actions of the town council, and the only way and the only recourse to change these would submit electors' rights to petition. They would need to have 5% of the registered electors to petition in order to enact a referendum, and you need at least 15% registered electors to come out and vote on that in order for it to pass. The annual budget referendum that is proposed in the charter revisions has no minimum voter requirement. So all of the other mechanisms in our system to petition and have representation of a fair amount of electors will not be there with an annual budget vote. The Groton Town Councils will now have 4 terms in place of the current 2-year terms. So the ability for you to vote out ineffective leadership would take longer. So I don't know how that gives Groton a right to vote. No more than 2/3 of this town council would also have to be part of the same political party, so you would need what we call minority representation. So again, if an individual election happened, similar to this past year, 9 Democrats got on the town council, automatically 2 of those people who were voted in by the people would have to be removed, and the least vote getters would end up getting into that position because of minority representation. And this proposal also makes several other changes. I recommend to all of the Groton public to take a look at grotonct.gov, go on to the website, look at the charter revision changes for yourself, look at the town meetings of October 3rd, October 10th, and November 28th to see the deliberations of the public and the overwhelming majority of people that were against charter revisions, and the previous town council that rejected the charter revisions as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next would be Bruce Fox.
Good evening. Thank you. Bruce Flax, 632 Noink Road. I'm a no on the charter, but I'm not here for that heady issue. I come before the board today to bring an issue to your attention that you may or not be aware of, and that of charging admission for high school sporting events. A little background: for the last 7 or 8 years, give or take, Mr. Romano could not remember the exact time it began. Spectators are charged in admission. I came upon this rule because we come to see my daughter May play volleyball, and we're ending up paying $5 a person, $3 a student to come see our kid play volleyball, which I don't think is right. They're charged $5 per person to watch the volleyball matches at Fitch. I should note that there is a season pass that you can buy for $40, but again, it's outlay of money. In fact, spectators pay for all indoor sports and football. Soccer and lacrosse spectators do not pay because there's no way to fence in the fields. As you can imagine, it can get costly to bring siblings and relatives to a game. I know that very few schools charge. Ledyard does, and Ledyard has a pay-to-play as well. I consider this to be a burden on all parents and people interested in watching the high school students play. It does not seem right to me that parents of players have to pay to watch. In discussing with Mr. Romano, he agreed that a cumulative total of all charges for all sports except football of around $15,000 would be a very high estimate of the total they collect on a yearly basis. So if we're talking about $15,000, those are all the $5 admissions that are added up. I'm asking the Board of Ed to find $15K in the budget to put toward the sports program so these spectator admission charges can be eliminated. In the last budget cycle, earlier this year, the Board of Ed had 8 intensive budget meetings where they lifted every stone to find savings and ended up bringing the proposed budget down to a 2.5% increase. After all the hard work was completed, you stood before the council who rejected an increase and demanded a 0% increase. The Board of Ed ultimately went back to the books and found additional savings and gave the council what they asked for, no problem. If you can magically find $900,000 or so, surely you can find $15,000. It feels like the parents of student athletes are being taxed to watch their kids play sports. Your consideration of this practice is greatly appreciated. And I have another letter. I think I still have part of my 5 minutes left, so if I have time, I'll just read this from another parent. After seeing the larger than usual crowd at Wednesday's volleyball game, there was no entrance fee until later in the evening, and realizing every time I invite friends and family to come to the games, I have to tell them about the fee to get in. I've come to see the charge as a huge negative. It does not help draw crowds and student supporters of volleyball. I also feel that if Fitch does not charge for girls' soccer or field hockey attendance, then it is not right to charge for volleyball. It is said the extra money helps to defray costs. I've been told the athletic budget for Fitch High School has been decreased and the department needs to make up the difference somehow. So they've been charging at these games for the last 4 or so years. At first it was just varsity, now freshman and JV games also. I know school employees get paid to man the entrance and collect the fee. Perhaps the savings of not having to pay that employee can help defray costs. Does the money go to the booster club? Does it stay with the volleyball program? I am requesting that the practice of charging to get into volleyball games be reconsidered. Perhaps the Board of Ed could reinstate monies to help this unfair targeting of the volleyball attendees. I think the trade-off will benefit the school in building morale and help the outside community be more willing to attend a game. For example, I recently invited some younger friends of mine who have elementary school age girls to come watch the older girls play a sport that they probably had never seen played before. How inspiring that they can be for the upcoming generations of children. But 1 mom and 3 daughters equals $14 for an hour. They may do it once, but the cost would definitely prohibit a young fan from coming again. I just don't think we should do this because offering free of charge attendance has much more benefit than any financial gain. That's from Ellen Safransky of 19 Ocean View Ave. So thank you.
Thank you.
Before you leave, I have a question.
Okay.
Could you tell me if girls' basketball, is there a entrance fee? I know there is usually for the boys'
I
basketball
believe there
games.
is, but
So
I was
even-
told that all indoor sports get charged, or people pay to watch, and football, but soccer and lacrosse, any outdoor sports where the fields can't get fenced in, they're not charged.
And when was this policy instituted?
Mr. Romano thought it was 7 or 8 years ago that they started doing it, but I'm not positive.
Could we possibly have Mr. Romano come to a meeting and discuss this with the board?
Sure.
Gretchen?
As a parent who has had 2 children go through this, most schools charge for sports.
So
and
this
I
is a
was-
portion of the agenda where we're not to really have, we can
Right.
ask for questions, for clarifications, but not to have a comment back.
Okay.
Thank you.
How's that?
Thank you. Could we,
We have,
oh, I wanted to ask, okay, when we're done, that's right. I didn't see.
okay.
Okay, sorry.
So the next one on the list is Portia.
Portia Bordelon, 159 Shannicosset Parkway. For full disclosure, I am an elected RTM member for District 2 and also a parent of 2 students in the district. Today, I'm representing myself as a parent in the district. Looking for a plan of action, and once again, I want to apologize, I just left work and I've been doing my notes on my lunch break, so this will be submitted via email to all of you, as well as a letter. And I apologize for the phone, it was the only time I had at work. Looking for a plan of action on the lead water issue. There has been no clear direction announced as to how we are fully assessing and planning to correct both the known and unknown contaminated plumbing. And for the record, there is no safe or acceptable level of lead in any drinking water. Providing free access to potable water is a responsibility of the school district and the town. Charging $1.25 for water bottles up at Fitch High School is not an acceptable solution. It is an unjust solution as there are a significant number of lower income families in the region and they're receiving assistance for lunch, therefore $1.25 is quite expensive for clean water. With that being said, I know at some point there was an attempt to put drinkable water in the contaminated areas. What is my plan or solution? If I'm going to have a problem, I would like to come up with a plan. My concern is that there's not enough drinkable water throughout the building. For example, if a fountain is deemed drinkable, a student has 5 minutes to pass class and cannot fill up a water bottle, especially an athlete. What can we do? In our cafeteria, we should have 4 to 5 drinking stations where students can fill up bottled water and be able to consume that on a daily basis without paying to get water. What else is going on is, from what I've heard from my own student and some of his friends, they don't want to drink any of the water in the building because not everything has been tested yet. And they've been told, don't drink the water. So until every spigot, not random biopsies, is tested, we have a major right as a community, as district leaders, as parents, to make sure water is accessible throughout the whole building until the problem is fixed. What has happened so far? We've had meetings about it, and I asked, has the field house been tested? Wouldn't you know? Over the summer, I get an email, ice is only used for wounds, field house is shut down, students don't have water down at our athletic field. I attend all sporting events, but I was at a football game on Saturday and watched students cart a utility cart up to the main building to bring water back down to the field. And was told by other teams that they were playing when they ran out of water that they really couldn't assist them because they had their football players and the water's way up at the main building. This needs to be rectified. We should bring water down to that field house that's accessible and that they can fill up. Hydration is a major concern for concussion and sports protocol for athletes. Let them be runners, lacrosse players, football players. And so the lack of availability of water for these students is unbelievable to me that this is still going on. And I'm concerned also at the West Side and other schools in our district. My next major concern, as far as I attended the open house at Fitch High School. Promethean boards, non-existing. They're not even working. Bulbs not replaced. Teachers saying, I sat in the front row of my son's math class and I could not read the board clearly to make anything out that he was presenting. And I raised my hand and I hit the lady next to me and I said, can you see this board? She says, no. I said, okay. And I said, oh, he says, it's glare, they haven't replaced them. Out of 8 or 10 classes that I went through, 6 of them did not have working Promethean boards. And I asked the teachers, so what do? The Promethean boards now are in the way for the whiteboards to be utilized appropriately. We must fix this. But here we are, spending tons of money on IB programs and all these wonderful programs that are all driven through the Promethean boards, but yet the teachers cannot utilize them. My son is on Schoology on a daily basis. Everything is driven through it. So they have curriculum that they have written that they cannot access on the Promethean board.
1 more minute.
My other concern was West Side. We had students that had become ill down there from heat exhaustion, and I was told, I went down there to bring paperwork, the nurse was no longer there. I can only imagine what the expectations or thoughts that happened in that building. But my concern is it took years. Cutler's, talking about the divide in this town, I can't wait for the one middle school, being a former student myself. Cutler had air conditioner way before West Side had air conditioner in the cafeteria. But it's not enough. Even with the air conditioner in the cafeteria, students are still becoming ill in our district. Yet the 2020 plan is coming, What is our plan in the meantime? We have another summer that we must go through down at Westside. What are we planning to do down there in those classrooms that got up to almost 100 degrees, making sure students are safe? My last comment is about subgroups and categorizing racial poverty in our district. I have concerns that at the last meeting you guys spoke about looking at the poverty levels in subgroups. When the papers come home where you guys have parents fill out their military and all the other things of where they were, you're able to circle 2 ethnic backgrounds, but every time I get the report where I have to correct it, only 1 shows up on the form. So I would have some questions as to why that is, because I am 50%. My father is white and my mother is black. My children's father identifies as being white. I circled both, but yet my children are only 20% African American, but yet their forms always come back with African American on it. I have concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Decorum, please. So just to make sure that that you do understand, Ms. Borderline, is that we have had regular conversations about the water testing, and that we are following protocol that is given to us by the health district, and also by the State Department of Health. That we are following those recommendations, and they are the bodies that are responsible to help us with the safety of our children. I will make sure that Dr. Grenier has will follow up on the concerns around the portability of water in terms of hydration down at the field house. That makes some sense. But to say that we are not on a regular basis talking about that is not correct, and that we are following the recommendations for the Ledgelight Health District. And I want to make sure that the public does understand that we are not willy-nilly about it, that this is actually in an effort to be on top of the issues around the lead. So I want to make sure that we're clear about that. Katrina, did you have?
Yeah, for some reason I thought the boosters were the ones who got the entrance fee. Can we just double check that?
Yeah, I think we should follow through on Rita's request, which is to have Mr. Romano come in and kind of talk to us about those fees and whether that is a policy that we need to do, especially since we are going to be going into budget season. It might make sense for us to do that.
And one other thing, the forms that were mentioned, those are the state, not our forms.
Yeah, that's correct. All right, we are going to move on to our student representative reports. Hello, you two.
Good evening.
All right, I'm going to start this off. Updates from last meeting. I know seniors have been painting the parking lots. They've gone after school and during weekends, and they were also featured on NBC News Connecticut. There was also open house for parents was on Wednesday, September 19th at Fitch High School, where parents got to meet their child's teachers and see what was going on in the classroom and everything. For class council, seniors are beginning the process to plan for homecoming, and also are selling Coastal Crab shirt, having a fundraiser for Coastal Crab shirts to go to coastalcrabct.com to order shirt. Juniors are selling Fitch sweatshirts for this month. Sophomores are having a fundraiser at Moe's on Thursday, September 27th, and also selling Munson's chocolate. And freshmen will be having elections this coming month to elect the class officers. For student leadership, there will be a Hat Day fundraiser on Friday, September 29th, 2018. The proceeds are going to a new Falcon costume because the one we have now is disgusting. There's going to be Spirit Week on the week of the 16th to 19th of October, pep rally on October 19th at 1 p.m. in the Fitch High School gym. There's going to be a tailgate on Friday, October 19th for the game. The homecoming game will be on Friday, October 19th, and the homecoming dance will be on Saturday, October 27th. Then there's also the Start with Hello week. So that's this week, September 24th to 28th. It's the official Start with Hello week from the Sandy Hook Promise, where Fitch High School students and the faculty will be participating in many Start with Hello activities. So that's going on this week. It's along with Renaissance Cruise, School Climate Committee, and the Kindness Club.
Also, PSAT Day is coming up. It is Wednesday, October 10th. 9th, 10th, and 11th graders will be taking it. As a senior, I will be going in to work on my college essay and any other help I need with the college application. It will also be an early dismissal on October 16th for students. And the Fitch Music Department is putting on a variety show on October 5th in the Fitch High School Auditorium at 7 p.m. There's going to be a whole bunch of things. One of my teachers discussed today that she was writing a little comedy skit, so it's going to be a fun night, and it will go to the London trip. Also on October 20th is the annual Fitch High School Marching Band Home Show. Tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for students, and it will be from 5 to 9 at Door Field. And then also, FAFSA night is on October 24th this month. It is after school from 4 to 8. You can sign up to register on the Fitch website. There will be help filling out the FAFSA, and then there's also going to be a paying for college presentation by Fitch's partners, Core Plus. And as a request from last year, I have also attached the fall athletic schedules to this month's report, and they will be placed in the minutes.
Thank you. Any questions for the Addie or Dan? Hearing none, let's move on. So we're moving on to the superintendent administration reports. Dr. Grenier.
Well, the first thing I just want to report that we've had a very successful school opening. The big news, and we're going to hear more of it tonight, is that both middle schools opened as magnet schools. Cutler opening as a arts and humanities magnet, and Westside as a STEM magnet. So that leads to the next issue, which is transportation. So I just want to acknowledge both Mr. Kilpatrick and the whole transportation staff. It's really been a remarkable evolution this year, because we've had to move so many students all around town, not just each side going to each middle school. Also at the middle schools, and we'll hear about this next month, we have begun to implement the International Baccalaureate Middle Years program. So that's, and I believe Ms. Austin's going to talk a little bit about the training that took place earlier. So we are off to a remarkably smooth opening, I'm happy to report, but lots of exciting work, lots of serious work that's going on, and we're continuing professional development and so forth. So good things are happening. But the next part of my report, if you're willing, is to introduce two of my colleagues, Leslie Forbes and Amy Murphy, who have a PowerPoint presentation about these two exciting middle schools that we now have.
Thank you, Dr. Grenier. Good evening. My name is Amy Murphy. I'm the STEM coordinator at Westside STEM Magnet Middle School.
And I am Leslie Forbes, the Arts and Humanities Coordinator and Coach at Cutler Arts and Humanities Magnet Middle School.
So we met you guys at the last meeting. So after we left, Dr. Grenier had said, well, we want you to come back and we want you to do it at the big meetings. So we decided that it was very important for us to present to you together. That the idea of the two separate magnet schools is really an idea of coming together in Groton to offer this amazing educational experience for all of our students, regardless of which school that they chose. So we've decided that our presentation, as you look through, you might be able to tell which school it is, but we're really presenting as a united force. This has been an extremely arduous journey, and so we'd like to tell you a little bit about what it took from the beginning of this little idea of magnet schools to the opening this year, which was successful, and we're all still alive.
It's a good thing.
And I'd
Yes.
like to add that both schools last week had our site visits from our grant evaluators, and both visits went very well. So we are finishing year one on a very good note and beginning year two, I think, right where we need to be.
So we started, Leslie and I started together. We were hired in December, and we really had absolutely no idea what this was going to look like. We were told, well, we're going to be 2 magnet schools, and one's going to be STEM, and one's going to be arts and humanities, and make that work. So really, everything that's happened has been an act of faith that the process is going to work out. We dove right in December. We both worked 2 jobs for a little while. We were both still in the classroom and planning. And there didn't seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel at some point, but as we progressed, the teachers and everybody dove in, and the first thing we tackled was professional development.
And also from these pictures, you can see as soon as you enter our schools now, they look different. One really looks like a STEM school, and the other one really shouts arts and humanities.
So what we were tasked to do was quite a feat. The amount of professional development that is required to start a brand new school is almost daunting. It was to us. We started by January. We had people in Georgia, we had people in Seattle, we had Colorado, Savannah, Georgia, New Hampshire. We had to create opportunities for these teachers to really hone in on their crafts and learn what does it mean to be a STEM school, and what does it mean to be an arts and humanities school, and then what does it mean to layer the middle years program on. We brought in experts to our schools. We sent people out. It was the dedication of the teachers is commendable, because some of our teachers completed over 100 hours of professional development prior to the start of the school year. And that's quite a feat and quite a task for us to ask them to do.
And that professional development continues. By the grant, our teachers need 50 hours of the magnet and 50 hours for the IB MYP. So for the arts and humanities, many of the professional development hours comes very naturally through our artists and residents. So when they come into the classrooms, they collaborate and plan with the teacher, and then within the classroom for 2 to 3 weeks, they work with the teacher and the students. So that professional development is embedded. Besides that, they have many opportunities because of the grant to also seek out professional development outside of school. And we also have paid consultants that are coming into both schools to work with our faculty. So there's a lot of support through the grant.
The professional development is not all bad, though. As you can see, we have teachers.
It's actually good.
It's actually, some of it is amazing, the opportunities that the teachers get to have in order to provide for the students. So we have teachers that are doing some water quality testing, and then some other teachers that get to do some amazing artwork. So they, as much as possible, professional development can be taxing and time-consuming, but Leslie and I have really tried to make it relevant and real-world, just like we're asking the students to.
So the sculptures that you see were created by the staff at Cutler Arts and Humanities Magnet Middle School. And our art teacher led us through Professional Development Day, where we created these sculptures out of clear packing tape. And as we went through it, we devised lessons for our students as well, and we went right through the magnet standards to also look at how would we assess a student's work after completing this type of project. So it was a very productive day, I should say, and the results are really quite remarkable.
One of the other tasks that Leslie and I were given was recruitment. So it was part of our grant proposal that we would actively recruit students that live in Groton, either that attend magnet schools outside of Groton or other districts, that if they lived in Groton, they would come back. So we participated in quite a few recruitment fairs. This one was at RMMS in New London, which we met families that live in Groton but sent their children across the river to elementary school, and then we provided the information. And actually, it was successful. A lot of them did choose to come back to Groton.
I think we both have had the experience that students have come up to us this year when they see us in the hall and say, "Do you remember me? I met you that night at one of the fairs, and we chose your school." And we always say, "Oh, yes, of course we remember you. We're so glad that you've come." So it has been successful.
But really, the most important piece that we want to share with you is the students and what they're doing. I think we have put together programs at both of the schools that provide real-world, authentic learning in the community that gets them out of the classroom and to meet the people that do the jobs that they're learning about. So at Westside in particular, we've gone on field trips down to work with engineers from EB. We've teamed up with the high school robotics club. We have learned to sail. We have learned about buoyancy by learning to kayak. And these are experiences that the kids at Westside would not have otherwise. The majority of the kids had never been on a sailboat before, ever in their lives. So it's amazing to see when they came back from these trips that the amount of excitement and just the pure joy that they had to go out on the water and to learn about buoyancy on a boat was just, it really did make it worthwhile.
And besides providing these incredible experiences for our students, both what we say on-site and off-site, is we're really building these very strong relationships with our community partners. And we both see these continuing even after the grant, because we're really forming these relationships and partnerships where our partners have voiced how they have enjoyed this journey and getting to know our students and working with our students and our schools as much as our students have benefited from the opportunities that they provide. So this was a day at the seaport, and one of the activities was that our students did get to climb the rigging of the Morgan with some support and some risk-taking of the IB Learner Profile trade, and it was a remarkable day.
Yeah, I think that the bottom line to this is that the classroom looks different now. And as you can see, you can't get any more engaged than those kids right there. So we really feel that our partners are one of the most valuable pieces to this process for us.
And like Amy just mentioned, the engagement is so high with the teachers and the students, and you can just feel it when you walk into some of the classrooms. So we also had to create some discrete classes, and we now have a dance club after school as well as a dance class now during the day during one of the C blocks. We also now have a guitar class because we were able to purchase 36 guitars that our music teacher is now using with our students as well. And we also, right now, currently, we have an artist from Arts for Learning Connecticut that is working with our French teacher. And after studying the languages and the culture of West Africa, they are creating authentic hand puppets with authentic garbs called boo-boos that the students are creating. And then they will use their hand puppets to only communicate in French once they are completed. We've also been able to create our AV studios, and what's exciting is our new partnership with Sonalist has begun, and one of the people in that video is Mr. Torriella, and he's already been in our school 3 times since we opened, working with the teachers and the students, providing hands-on training, how to use the equipment. So the most important thing is the new equipment that we've purchased is being taught to the teachers and students and being used. And again, this is a partnership that he has expressed a lot of excitement about, and he's very happy and eager and excited to work with us as he's local right out of Waterford. And I could see this partnership continuing again even after the grant.
For Westside, our discrete classes have started as well. We have our Project Lead the Way classes, which we have implemented 5 classes, 1 in 6th grade, 2 in 7th, 2 in 8th, and then we also have implemented a new coding class for the 6th grade. So all the equipment is in and they are off and running. And the 2 teachers that are teaching the Project Lead the Way, they're really like the rock stars of the professional development, because they had to take a 40-hour course for each of those courses that they teach. And so our new STEM teacher teaches 3 of those courses. So she spent 3 weeks of her summer before she even started teaching here in Groton, across the country, learning these courses to implement with the kids. So it's been really neat to watch them kind of explore these new courses together.
And I would agree with what our teachers have done. They have gone above and beyond. With our new discrete classes, we have the AV media classes, as well as 2 theater classes, 2 art classes, one called community art, which is where the students will continue to paint murals throughout the school and other things like their lockers or different ways that murals can be created within our school. And they also have one called Beyond the Pencil, which will be sculptures and pottery. So these are all new adventures for our teachers as well. And then we are also offering a screenwriting class, and as of Friday, we have our dance class, which is just very exciting.
So this is our STEM lab, and if you look really closely at the back, our new active panels have been installed. We tried to get a really good picture in it, but we didn't have one. But listening to Portia talk earlier about the Promethean boards, we are so thankful that we were able to purchase 8 new active panels. They're like Promethean boards, like next generation. They're so fantastic. So we're in the process of, they're like no Promethean boards you've ever seen. So we're in the process of still learning how to use them. But it's really exciting because you can see them with the lights on. and there's no bulbs to replace. So we're really, really excited to get teachers trained on how to use those and make the most of those in our classrooms.
Which is actually happening in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And both schools, we each have 3 that are attached into classrooms, and we each have one that's portable in our media center that can be then used for a teacher that does not have one in their classroom. So 4 apiece, which is, oops, sorry.
That's just more engagement, I think.
And if I had to add one more picture, but we had some technical difficulties, is we had a role player in on Friday from the Seaport to work with all our sixth grade students. And when she walked in dressed in her 1800 fashion and garb, it caught everyone's attention, not just our students. And afterwards, when I talked to both the sixth grade English language arts teachers, they said the students were so excited, so engaged, and they feel it was probably the best way yet that they've introduced one of their mentor texts at their beginning by having this role player in with the students and just making it, they're really bringing it to life for them.
So we started together, and these are our new signs. So we've worked really hard to create a cohesive idea that if you have a student in middle school in Groton, and they go to Cutler or they go to West Side, they're getting amazing opportunities. So we still have a lot of work to do. We did have our first site visit, and we are making progress, and it is going to take a lot of hard work, but just seeing the pictures of the kids engaged and learning in a new way makes it worth it to us, we think.
And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again and again, I'll probably embarrass some people, but Sam Kilpatrick, Mark Russell, Tim Candy, Dennis Colclaw, above and beyond, and all our custodians, what they had to do for our site visit was amazing, and they were at our schools maybe even by 5:30 in the morning, putting together whatever needed to happen so that when our site evaluator walked through, everything was where it was supposed to be with the money that we used from the grant to purchase them. And so just cannot say enough thank yous to the team that worked together to make it all happen. So thank you.
Thank you. Gretchen?
I would love to compliment whoever made the signs up. They are fantastic.
The logos are pretty, you're right.
They're really amazing.
And we have a marketing person. Her name is Rebecca Bayes, and she has been working with us to provide not only the banners, probably tomorrow our students are getting folders that have each of these logos on them. And at Cutler, we also were able to purchase some PE bags that the students will be getting with the new logos.
Very nice.
I think that this is wonderful, and you're right. Mark, could you throw up the lights up again? Thanks. Ooh. Sorry. Yeah, not those. I think he has to have them for the videotaping. But we did have you in, if it was not last week, it was the week before that. And I think the reason why we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that this got televised, because people have lots and lots of questions about what this is, and this is just one of the many ways that we can get it out. But it is palpable about how excited the district is about the things that you guys are doing. And as you say thank you to everyone to support you, I say thank you to the two of you for spearheading it. Thank you very much. Any other questions from the board? Great.
How much longer? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that me?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, how much longer do we have the grant? Is it 4 more
It's
years?
a 5-year grant, so 4 more years.
4 more years.
October 1st begins year 2. So we're just finishing out year 1.
Right. Because
And-
I would
and
love
part of
to-
it is maintaining that sustainability.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And they
Thank you.
started in December.
We
were a
did
little
a year
behind.
and 6 months.
And we also have to,
Easy
you know,
peasy.
that huge thank you to all the teachers, too, that have these big systemic reforms between the IBMYP and the magnet themes and all the hard work planning and bring it to our students, because they've been amazing.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on.
I just had, it's kind of a segue, actually. October 2nd, I'm going to be sending a note to the custodial force. It is Custodian Appreciation Day, and I couldn't have said it any better than what Leslie just said. When you walked in the schools, the first couple of days of school, every school I went into, it was simply sparkling. They just did a phenomenal job. And on top of that, lots of work during the summer, lots of construction that needed to be done to support the middle schools. It was I think Sam's going to talk about it a little bit, actually, later, but I can assure you, when I congratulate the custodians, it will be heartfelt, because they really did a remarkable job this summer.
Awesome. Susan.
And this is a very good segue into really commending our teachers. Over the summer, so much professional development, curriculum writing occurred, and I don't think many people realize that summer is really a working summer for many, many people who, volunteer their time and dedicate to these causes. So when we look at professional development, there were definitely opportunities that happened at the end of August. So we had our new teacher orientation for all of our 40-some new teachers. We had administrative retreat on bias and understanding our own biases and how to really recognize them in a school setting. We had the middle school, thank you to Amy Murphy and Leslie and Kathy Wilson, did a whole week on inquiry PD, and many, many middle school teachers and even I think some high school teachers attended that. We also had the MYP training on from the 29th of August to the 31st, so it was basically 3 days of MYP training, which was pretty intense for the start of the year. There was very little time for teachers to kind of get into their classroom. So I would call it, really a lot of, good work that was happening. We had the convocation, of course, on the 29th, and building PD on the 31st. The 30th was district-wide PD, and it included beyond the MYP for middle school and high school, some high school. It also included for the K teachers, Teachers College, work with the phonics units of study, which are new this year. And for the upper grade teachers, they had a half day looking at the new pacing guides and the grammar and convention pacing guides that have been done, and really taking a look at all the summer work that has been accomplished, and we're thrilled, thanking their colleagues for what they had accomplished this summer. They also had a half day in mathematics, so that, and then we had special areas that included Dr. Mari Ridington working on trauma-informed schools, and our special area teachers working together and collaborating to make their lessons more dynamic. So it was a working summer, and working last couple weeks of the summer before getting ready for kids. In addition, the work I talk about is in ELA K-12, math K-12, and science was elementary, middle school, and high school. We had experts here, Dr. Reckenberg from CREC. We had LLI, which is Level Literacy Intervention, and we had Dr. Fosno from New Perspectives in Mathematics. We sent teachers to Michigan State University for CMP3 Connected Math Project, so a real core instructional resource in middle school and algebra. So there, I just want to say, follow up, a teacher said today at the data team, well, good teaching results in student growth. There's a direct correlation. So I think she's right on. You look at what are the effects of all of this work and what you've heard, you'll see who's doing the work when you walk into the classroom. The teacher has worked very hard in preparing and planning lessons and collaborating and making sure everything is working and doing that powerful mini lesson. But you walk in those classrooms and those kids are doing the heavy lifting, and that's what we want. That's the big shift, the inquiry shift, that the kids are all doing the reading, writing, and the mathematics. So that's the effects of all that you've heard here. I just wanted to also add, Addie said it so well, but some of our Charles Barnum friends made signs that say, start with hello, with our names on it. So I want to thank our Charles Barnum friends, and they sent them up to central office. Start with hello is a program, as Addie said, that from the Sandy Hook Promise, that teaches children and teens how to really be socially inclusive and not to exclude anybody. So it's a real powerful week this week. All the schools are involved. Fitch has quite a comprehensive program, including things like getting some information out there about the Sandy Hook Promise, the birthday wall, the harbor is launched. They are wearing green, and I think they even have green arm bracelets, and how to help. They're learning how to help fellow students in need with the Start to Hello. They're mixing it up, so in the cafeteria, they're asked to meet new friends, and students and adults are participating. Even in central office, there is a hum of saying hello today and getting to know and reaching out to people that you might not talk to usually. So I would encourage the community to start with hello and to do the same.
Thank you very much. So you guys are basically had a very boring and slow summer, not doing anything.
Not much work.
Not much work at them. It's amazing what the district staff and the teachers and administration have done to make this district incredibly, amazingly, wonderfully good.
And it's all about the kids and what they're doing. So
Awesome.
that's why we do it.
Awesome. All right. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing dandy.
This is the object code summary. This is attachment number 1. Does everyone have what it is?
We do.
Once again, this is our FY19 budget, 76,468,239. We are currently at, sorry, Mark. We're currently estimating to be under budget by $54,209. The main drivers here are some teacher retirements that came in lower than anticipated, as well as elimination of one bus. This is offset by the APEX software that we previously talked about, as well as the natural gas, heating oil, and diesel fuel that we talked about at the last meeting. So that's all wrapped into here, and so currently we're looking at 54,206.
Yeah, I noticed that it's different from what we saw last week,
yeah.
is that you incorporated those two other drivers, the fuel?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, 54, and we're the end of September.
that's right.
Okay. Any other questions about that? All right, the health report, we did just get this.
Yeah, so you'll see the healthcare report, healthcare insurance. We just received this hot off the presses, so that's why it was not included previous. But this is for the month of July. The total costs for the Board of Education for July was $1,019,606. And this compares to the budgeted number that we have, $1,030,783. So we're pretty much in line with budget at this time.
Any questions? All right, with that, let's go to the Director of Buildings and Grounds. Hello, Mr. Kilpatrick. And
Hello.
you're on.
I have 3 things I'll report on this evening. The first item is the Groton 2020. As you know, the SLAM Collaborative is our architects on the middle school project. We've continued meetings with the architects, and surveys have gone out to teachers and staff, and they're answering questions on such things such as how they are going to use their rooms and what kinds of things they might need in their rooms. And those answers have been coming back this past week pretty quickly, I think. The elementary schools is being led by Perkins Eastman architect firm. And last Thursday, they reported to the Permanent School Building Committee. They continue working on their plans. And their report to the Permanent School Building Committee was they talked mostly about the siting of the buildings on the west side and the Cutler properties, exactly where they will go and how we'll be able to do that and build them while school is still in session on those 2 campuses. I know they're still working on economizing space. There's still need to get within range in order to keep the budget at the level that the town approves. So that's still ongoing. And the other thing that they did report on Thursday night was that they'll be meeting with most of the town staffs over the next few weeks, things like inlands, wetlands, those sorts of things, because there are wetlands on both of those properties. The second item is the water testing update. You may remember, some of this may be repeated. I may be repeating myself to a certain degree, but I just wanted to go through the chart as it started back in June. In consultation with the State Department of Public Health and the Ledge Light Health District, we did water testing at Clodchester and Fitch High School. The results of those tests indicated that one fountain at Clodchester was above the limits, acceptable limits, and we secured that fountain and provided bottled water there. At Fitch High School, 2 lavatories in the 2800 wing of the school were above levels, and signs were posted there so that they could still use it for hand washing, but it was posted that it's not drinking water. In the field house and the concession stand were both tested above the limits. So in the field house, we secured any drinking water, posted signs on the hand washing stations and on the ice machine so that the ice, as Ms. Borderline indicated, is labeled that it's only for injuries. The ice at the up at the building is still good to use, but that down there, until we get the correct results and this taken care of, is only for injury use. So then in August, I got the results back on Clodchester pretty quickly, and we were instructed by the Department of Public Health to retest any areas that were above the limits. And so we did the retesting in August. And while I was at the state, for instance, Clodchester, in the back wing of the school, we did 2 classrooms at the beginning of the wing and 2 at the end of the wing. And the fountain in the center of it was tested positive. So when I went back to the state, she indicated that she would prefer that, or would like me to, the other classrooms are fine, would like me to test 2 more classrooms at opposite ends of the wing. But that only left 4 classrooms in that wing, so we thought that it would be wise to just test all of those classrooms in that wing. It happens to be in the lower grade level too. So we tested all of those, and the results came back at Clodchester, and the fountain still is above, but the test that we did, the second set of tests we did differently, and it indicates where that lead might be coming from in the line. So I haven't met with the state again. I'm going to be going back to the state soon to go over those results. But the 4 classes, or the 6 classrooms that are adjacent to that fountain, so now all 8 classrooms in that wing have been tested, and all 8 classrooms came back below the active limit, or the limits. On to the Fitch High School concession stand. The results on those were still above the levels, but the field house was below. I've left that off at the field house until I've talked to the state and determined exactly what I need to do now, because I had a test that was not good previously. Now I have a good test. I want to see what Cindy Sec and Ledge Light Health District have to say, what their recommendation is for us to do at this point. There is water down there. One of the things that Ms. Borderline recommended or told me about prior to the testing that we did was that the kids use outside water at the football field and the baseball field, and also they fill their bottles there on lots of occasions. And also at Clodchester, there's an outside spigot at Clodchester. We did test all 3 of those sites, and all 3 of those sites were fine. So they do have water down there. It's just, as she said, it's a bit cumbersome to be filling up buckets of water and hauling them around. As far as the concession stand is concerned, there was a football game on Friday night. I went to the game. And one of the reasons I went to the game was not only to watch Fitch play, and they played well, but was also to stop at the concession stand because we put a bubbler in the concession stand along with 3 large bottles of water so that they could make their coffee and hot cocoa, because I don't think they use milk for their hot cocoa over there. They use water, I think. So I provided the water for them. I just wanted to make sure that they were all set with that and they knew that that's what the water was there for. So then in September, at the beginning of September, we had some concerns about a lavatory at the high school that a group uses for hygiene. And so we conducted tests on that. And I also, at the same time, did an additional test on the service line. There's a 4-inch water line that goes from the high school down to the concession stand. So I drew a test on that line as well at the concession stand to see if it's coming from the high school down to the concession stand, or maybe it's within that building. So we're trying to locate exactly where it is through this testing. So while it takes quite a while to get it, I think that we'll be able to narrow things down and really be able to take care of things once we get these results. So we are awaiting those results of the tests at the high school and Gloucester, and as soon as we get those results, I'll be meeting with the Department of Public Health and Ledge Light Health District to review the results and determine what our next steps will be.
Thank you. Rita? Before my questions about the water testing and so forth, I need to back up to the Groton 2020. Is that okay? I was wondering, at the new middle school, will they have active panels being installed as opposed to the old-fashioned Promethean boards? Like, what is the plan for the classrooms?
I wasn't at that meeting. Dennis Colclaw went to that meeting to meet with the architects, but I'm pretty sure that those, that'll be,
okay.
Those will be the newer boards for sure.
And in the past, other times, the architects has presented to the Board of Education what their plans are, where they'd like to situate the new schools. And I was wondering if we could put that on one of our agendas to have the architects come and make a presentation to the board, hopefully during one of our meetings that's televised. I think that is extremely important. And when you mentioned that students would still be in school while they're doing the building, I assume that the students would be at the new middle school and those buildings would be vacant. Is it changed?
Yes, if that's your understanding, it has changed.
And what is it now?
The 2 new elementary schools will be built while school is still in session in order to move the date up. I can't remember how many millions of dollars it saves by doing it at the same time that we're building the middle school, but it's quite substantial.
So we'll be building 3 schools at the same time, is that it?
Well, pretty close at the same time. They'll be going on at the same time. We'll be starting the middle school first, I believe, but shortly thereafter, the 2 elementary schools will be started.
And, yeah, it would be good just to see what these buildings are going to look like, and where the students are going to come from that would be going. I know where they're coming from that go to Cutler, Gloucester and Butler, but I'm not sure where the lines would be for the West Side School, since it's so close to Konasky. So I'd like to understand all that.
But my sense is that districting would come back to the board. I mean, the town is responsible for the buildings.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to know, you know, do we have enough students to occupy the buildings and where they're coming from? This is from the board point of view, not the town. And then to go back to the water.
I guess I'm still not clear about what your question is.
Well, I'd like to see the plan from the architect.
Okay, I got that.
Yeah, how many students are going to be in each of the buildings exactly? You know, the schools and what they're going to look like and where they're going to be.
Sure.
We can invite them to a future meeting.
Great. And then to go to the water testing, what is being done for the visiting teams that come to our school? For the field house, like the football teams or, you know, any other teams that are,
Well, that was all being handled through Mr. Romano. They were bringing buckets or big jugs of water over to him, as far as I know.
are there bubblers there where the kids could go get water?
No, there aren't any bubblers there.
And what about in the cafeteria? Are there any bubblers so kids could get, you know, especially because that is so close to the wing where they can't get the water?
In the cafeteria at the high school? There is a water fountain in the cafeteria at the high school.
Just one?
Yeah, but it's not, I think Ms. Borderline was talking about a different type of system where they actually, it wouldn't be what I call a normal water fountain or bubbler.
Right.
But these would actually be bottle filling stations. I went to the Marine Science Magnet School because they have them, and they have them filtered as well.
Yes.
And so I've got that information, and we're trying to determine, I've asked for a couple of prices on them. I haven't got them back yet, but.
I think that's very important. I have seen them at Marine Science.
Yeah.
So it'd be a great solution.
Even if we didn't have the lead problem, it certainly would be
Yes.
a
Yeah,
nice addition for the kids.
And to have students pay $1.25 for water is definitely a hardship. Also, we shouldn't be having the plastic water bottles, so using them.
I think others agree with you on that.
Yes, I think it's a great idea that we stop using bubblers and we start filling these things. The bubblers are probably one of the best way we transfer diseases in our schools. I don't know if you've ever seen studies or done one for fun in high school, but they are disgusting. I think what Rita was trying to say is we'd like to see a map and try and figure out where we're going to redistrict the students.
Well, I see that as two separate
Okay.
pieces.
It's
I see the architect and looking at the size and what the capacity of each of the buildings are, what they're going to look like, where they're going to be placed. I see that
Right.
that is one
That's
piece.
one question.
And then the second piece is how is the board going to get the kids outside of just saying, you know, all the A kids come there, B kids, C kids. So I think that seems like that's two different processes.
And my third question
Yep.
is, why does building them at the same time save money?
I didn't hear what you said.
Building the buildings at the same time, why does that save money? So Sam, your quick and dirty answer to that is?
Every year that you wait to get started on a project, there are funds that you're losing essentially. There's escalation costs as time goes on, so you want to get started as soon as you can.
We'll just be a very busy town.
Very, very busy.
Yeah. All right, Katrina?
Could we just get a new timeline because of the shift?
I'm sorry. I
Could
couldn't
we
hear you.
get a new timeline because of the shift in the building schedule?
So I think what you're asking is for the permanent building school committee to maybe kind of come back in and kind of meet with us and talk about what is a new timeline for the buildings. I think, and actually, Katrina, I actually think that this was part of your brainchild is the town hall meetings. And I think one of the things that we had muddled around is that the building of the 2020 and the building of the new building of the new school projects seems like a really wonderful way to kind of kick off the town meetings. But it sounds to me that there's lots of information that's going on with the wetlands and stuff like that. And I'm wondering that once that hurdle gets done, maybe having the permanent school building committee and the town, and the Board of Ed and the town council kind of coming together to have a town hall meeting to be able to provide for the community sort of what are the plans and what's going on. And maybe we would even get a chance to take a look at what the timeline is.
Yeah, that's all I really
But
want.
I think that that's a,
And I have
that's a
another
reasonable.
question.
Absolutely.
The new schools, I'm going to guess with the new timeline, 2.5 years, it should all be up online? Okay. At what point are we being premature with redistricting, but at what point should we start looking at that?
That's a good question.
And also scheduling for the middle school? Because of the MYP program?
And the magnet school, making sure that they get
Yeah.
their hours in.
This fall, for sure, the middle school principals have departed, but this, yeah, the fundamental aspect of next year's MYP is going to require a schedule. So we're going to do that this fall.
Okay. So districting, I don't see why we have to look at it 2.5 years in advance, but if that's the normal practice, then fine.
Well, yeah, we've got some work to do there, and both of the schools will be magnet schools. So we will have to establish some neighborhood catchment zones, as well as really a vigorous magnet lottery program that will get kids moving around the district, because we have to ensure racial balance.
Yes.
If you leave my house in Bel Air at 2:08, you can't get out because we have 4 to 5 school buses. I can't seem to get them count properly because every time I turn a corner, there's a bus.
Yeah.
Right.
So we really need to look at that when we do the busing, because I know we're getting a middle school.
I think that's all part of the plan.
Okay.
Transportation's really huge,
Because
and I think that we even talked
makes
about that in our last committee of the whole meeting.
For work.
That transportation is,
have
well, you
to
should
leave
live in the
20
city
minutes.
with the Pfizer and the EV traffic, so I
It's
hear
like
you.
they're
All right, I'm
becoming
going to
a
move us
bridge.
on. I'm going to move us on to the summer work to finish your,
I'm sure I'm not doing that.
I'll let you finish.
And that would be number 3.
That would be number 3.
Yes, I just wanted to report that, yes, indeed, summer is over. So we've been, as Amy, I guess Amy's gone, but as she mentioned, we've been in pretty early on some mornings to finish up all the magnet school items that need to be taken care of before the site visits. And we, too, were quite thrilled that everything went so well for them. Our guys were in probably 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to get some of these things done, so we certainly appreciate our staff, too, making that effort to come in early and get those things up and running. You may have noticed that the practice football field has been redone. We actually have grass growing. And I saw on Friday night that I actually have to put up a snow fence to keep the kids from playing touch football over there during the football game. So we'll be doing that this week. And we are gearing up to move the early childhood playground from Pleasant Valley over to Clarchester, so that'll be the last summer project that we'll be finishing up.
All right, so we're going to move on
I
to,
have a quick question.
yes, Rita.
Someone had mentioned to me that there's a possibility there might be some mold in some sections of Northeast Academy. Have you been looking at that, or?
Yeah, we visited the school on Friday. We have a humidity problem at Northeast Academy with regard to balancing the heating, ventilation, air conditioning system over there. We've been working on it. Jamie Anderson is our HVAC guy. He's been working on it feverishly. We're going to be bringing in a consultant to verify that it's balanced properly, that sort of thing. I don't know how much you know about that site. I didn't know previously, but apparently the old school actually had a stream that ran through the crawl space below it.
My children went to that school.
And so it's a very wet site, and of course,
Yes.
with the amount of moisture that we have in the ground now, it's pretty wet around the building. So we're trying to determine whether, well, today, we spent the day today, or this morning, checking out all the drainage and making sure all the drains around the building were working properly so that the water drains away from the building. We've checked out the HVAC system, and tomorrow I have the owner of Mystic Air Quality will be walking around the building with me, checking some things out. But there are things that look like mold. I'm not sure that they are, but he'll point those things out to me tomorrow and indicate. But we do have a I met with Terry Potter, our custodial supervisor, and Wendell Gaston, who's that fantastic custodian over there in Northeast. And they went through the entire building on Saturday looking for anything and everything that they could possibly find. And they've come up with a cleaning plan, as well as we'll be talking to the night staff to implement that. So,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam.
Question?
If there is a heat humidity issue, how is that affecting the instruments at, you said Northeast, right? Or
Northeast Academy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Northeast has all these beautiful new string instruments we bought.
Yeah,
and
they
do
were
not
kept in a
handle-
room that we kept the air conditioning, the system on all summer long. I did see some indications of maybe some growth on the canvas bags that they were on, and that's all been
It's
cleaned.
not so much the
but-
canvas bags. If they don't have enough humidity, they dry the glue that holds them, and they pop, and they break, and the sound post falls. And if they have too much humidity, then everything expands, and they become incredibly difficult to use.
Yeah,
They
we're
break,
working in
basically.
cooperation with the music teacher over there, so.
Yeah, so just keep those beautiful little tiny instruments in mind when you think about this humidity.
Gretchen.
Thank you. I know, I play the cello.
So we're on to the committee reports. Policy.
Policy continues to work. I think that actually Susan wished we had been back to the audit at the last meeting, but we had some other things to deal with. But
Okay.
we meet every month, and we will be talking about some of our second readings today.
All right, thank you. And curriculum?
Curriculum has been meeting without a quorum, but.
Sorry.
That's all right, but our last meeting was a planning meeting where we went over a schedule of how we're going to attack the curriculum to come.
Okay.
And, but the thing that I wanted to kind of back up Katrina's question has to do with the middle school schedule. That's how this whole middle school looking at began. We were concerned about the middle school schedule. And we evolved into the MYP program. And through that, what came to us was that MYP is going to drive the schedule. So I would like to see that schedule integrated into the curriculum committee. So we really have some say about it and
Yes.
how it's going to go.
Okay. We'll be looking forward to hearing more about that. Finance and facilities, Jay.
We met last Monday and before this meeting tonight, and we will be recommending options to the board on the salary and wage proposals. The policy will read to take up the school lunch program procedure. We'll discuss DoD supplemental and the CIP recommendations.
That's all tonight?
Some of it.
Okay. All right. Busy night. All right. Rita for Learn.
There was a meeting on September 13th. The teacher of the year for Learn is Erica Peaver, and she is a special ed student. A special ed teacher, sorry. And one of the perks that the teacher of the year receives at Learn, which I was hoping we could implement, they are sent to a conference of their choosing. And I thought that was a very positive, something very positive. Whatever their field is, they could, look for a conference to go to, no matter where it is. And so I was just thought I'd put that out there, and maybe we could look into something like that. Also, Dr. Nicholas Sparrow, the principal of Marine Science, Magnet High School, he is the safety and security coordinator. And they did an active shooter drill, which involved all their staff, and they did it at Marine Science. And I was curious as to whether or not we did anything like that, Dr. Grenier. And if we could have, I believe, is it Denise Doolittle, who is our safety and security? Who is the safety and security?
Sam.
Oh, Sam, you are. So Sam, I was just wondering if the board could have a report on what we do for our staff. And because they said that it is actually, it's the first 3 minutes of an incident that is so critical. So,
Yeah, I can give you a report on that at a later date, but
yes.
I can tell you now that we work in cooperation with Chief Fisaro and Chief
Yes.
Spellman in the city as well. So.
Right, right, and I know that they're very involved, and it would just be nice for the public to know exactly what we do in our schools. I think that's about it. Teacher negotiations is a contract is opening again, and I will be on that committee, as well as on the building committee for the Ocean Avenue Learning Academy, which is progressing and hopefully will open in November.
Thank you. So the Board of Ed, Town Council and RTM had its third meeting, September 3rd, 4th, I can't remember. And I think that went very well. And it seems that people are actually wanting to meet on a once-a-month basis, not on every other. So I think that they are enjoying the fact that we are meeting together. The next thing is Trails and Liaison. Gretchen?
I'm waiting to find a date and hoping it doesn't cross date with 2 other committees I'm on.
And Groton Scholarship?
And that's coming up in a few days.
Okay.
Negotiation.
I know, I got it.
Good.
And so what was not on here is that negotiations that we're currently involved with the teachers' negotiations, and that tonight we are going to be ratifying the secretary negotiations. Anything else? All right, so I'm going to move to the consent agenda. And so I will take a motion to approve the consent. I've got first, can I have a second, please?
Second?
I've got from Lee. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion is carried. And the board, that's, okay, that's good. All right, so now go to old business. And Katrina, can I have you read number 1, please, the motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve as a second reading policy P6172.3 homeschooling.
Can I have a second, please?
Second?
That's from Lee. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the homeschooling policy 6172-3, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? So we have 1 oppose? Any abstentions? Motion has carried. Gretchen, would you be willing to read motion for number 2? The
Motion number
please.
2, discussion and possible action regarding the school reading of policy 5141.4, reporting of child abuse and neglect, attachment number 4.
So the motion is?
Oh. To approve as a second reading policy, P5141.4, reporting of child abuse and neglect.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
I've got Rita. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the policy reporting of child abuse and neglect, P5141-4, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Motion has carried. We are now moving on to new business. And Mr. Danner, if you would like to make your way down. Make your way down to the Price is Right door number 1, 2, or 3. But while he is walking, Jay, can I please have you read the motion for number 1 of the new business?
I move we approve the hiking field trip scheduled for May 22nd through May 25th, 2019 to the White Mountains, New Hampshire.
Can I please have a second?
Second.
I've got Gretchen. So now we're in the discussion part.
Oh, I'm just here to answer questions.
Oh, you're here to, so we have, we received in our packet, and my sense is that we are just trying to kind of get this done
In advance.
in advance so that you can just have the green light. And it looks like on the second page of our blah, 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 of our itinerary that was copied, it looks like you start in November
That
on
would
Saturday
be-
and Sunday at Patchogue State.
That would be, yes, one of the trips.
Okay, and
We
then-
started a couple weeks ago.
And then,
Or last week.
and
2 weeks
April
ago.
13th and 14th? And then the big trip is in May.
Those are the 3 overnights.
Okay. Andrea, Andrea, I'm looking right at you.
The other
Rita.
entry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I noticed that your meetings are on Friday evenings. Is that a hardship at all for students having to go home from school and coming back?
They stay right after school.
Oh, it's really after school?
It's after school, yes. They don't come back.
It does say Friday evenings.
Well, yeah, maybe I should have wrote Friday afternoon.
Yeah, yeah, because it almost sounds as if 2 hours each Friday night all year long, and I just was wondering if that was
Well, maybe it
difficult.
seems that way to me. That's why I wrote it.
Maybe that's what it is.
Sounds like a spread trip.
And the transportation is $2,700, but the student cost is $100. So do you have fundraisers for the transportation? Do you receive any board money?
We've worked some in there, a little bit,
We have
through the
them-
site budget.
So that carries them through their Fridays. So they meet regularly on those Fridays, and we have staff. Mr. Danner, of course, volunteers his time to run
Right.
it, but then we have staff who help support it.
And is there a contingency for students who cannot afford the $100?
Yeah, right on this thing that I send home, it says monies should not be a factor, because I
Great.
don't want that to be a factor.
And have you ever talked to some of the other schools in Groton to see if we could spread this across to some of the other schools at one time when you were first at Fitch Middle, then at Cutler? And
No, I don't do that.
no one else has,
No, we've had it before.
You
Westside
did?
had it when I was at Cutler.
yes,
a
yes,
little
they
bit.
did.
Mhm.
They did.
And
But
I
right
think,
now,
I think
there's only
Catherine
one.
Kolnaski runs something, but I'm
Pardon?
not sure what they call it. Do you know that?
Yeah, Catherine Connors.
Okay, they run something. Ben Moon runs it.
They have
Not
enough
quite the same thing, they just take day trips.
day trips. Yeah, it just would be, it's such a wonderful program. I can't say enough about it. I just wish we could have this in more of our schools. So, I
We
know
need
we
more
need,
Steph Danners.
we need to
Right.
clone you.
I don't know about that. That might not be a good idea.
Gretchen?
Have you reached out to the scout packs in the schools? Because I know a lot of them do this stuff too, and anyway, and I'm sure they would love to go with you and help you, and can help you with gear, et
I
cetera.
hadn't really considered that yet. I kind
They are
of,
wonderful creatures.
oh, I'm sure they are.
And now they are co-ed.
I've heard.
Well, maybe that would be the way to make
So-
sure that they're handled in other schools, is maybe
Yeah.
the PACS.
Yeah, you could run it through the PAC system. I could help. And the other question is, can I go with you so I can be prepared for hiking in Wyoming next summer?
I'll let you take that up after the board meeting.
Thank
So
you.
any more of the discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to approve the hiking field trip scheduled for May 22nd, May 25th, 2019 to the White Mountains, New Hampshire, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Abstain? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm not kidding.
All right.
Take me with you.
So Lee, could you please read the motion for number 2 on the new business?
Yes, discussion and possible action regarding approval of the FY20 CIP plan, which is attachment number 6. The motion is to approve the FY19 CIP plan.
Can I please have a second? Second. Okay, can we have discussion? So, Jay, is this some of the stuff that you?
Excuse me,
Oh.
it's the FY20 plan, that's a misprint.
Oh, you're right.
Is it
Oh,
not?
yes.
Yeah, we're talking,
Yeah,
we're
we're not
already
talking
in
about the current.
FY19.
That's right, we're talking about the 20. So we'll have to make an
So we'll have to
Sorry, I didn't
amend
read
that. No, you read it properly. We just mistyped it. It's to approve the FY20.
It also would be for the 2020 graduation date. No, that's our 2019.
19 is
All right,
this
you're
year.
right. So Jay, did you, you said that this was a conversation that you guys had in the Finance and Facility Committee?
Yes.
Meeting?
Yes, and apparently Chromebooks for the fifth grade are coming up on their planned obsolescence date, as my grandfather would say. The manufacturer has built in that after 4 years, we won't be able to do SBAC testing with them and that sort of thing. And so we're going to be doing some replacement on that.
I think you're confusing the Department of Defense with the CIP.
I'm actually talking about the CIP.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, the CIP, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, that's interesting.
It is true.
Yep.
It is true that we're
Yep,
going to
that is
replace
true.
those fifth grade computers. But the CIP is this historical little chart thing.
Oh, that's right. That's all of the money we've been asking the town for all of the years, and we've never gotten it.
So that 2 million, 8?
Yeah, so this year we've included, I think that was Katrina's idea, some of the history on how many times we've asked for money to upgrade or to repair the tennis courts, recrown the football field, address the water quality issues, and of course, every year they're denied. So we're going back to get all that. Plus, years ago, they funded half of the asbestos project at Fitch, but never funded the other half. So we're trying to get complete funding for that. And again, that's something that I think we determined is 48% reimbursable from the state. So rather than shut the school down for 2 years and incur additional costs, it'd be better if they actually funded the whole project and did it in one. There's also the asbestos removal for SP Butler, and people always ask, well, why are you doing the asbestos removal on a building you intend to close? Once you close it, you don't get any money back from the state, so it has to be done while it's an operating building.
So my understanding is that this CIP list that's in front of us is sort of what was produced by Sam and his crew with Dr. Grenier, and that the Finance and Facility Committee has looked this over and have agreed to move the CIP projects forward.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
With one, we got a note from the planning department, and they said they'd really like to see it. And as we go forward, for example, the storage facility, if we lost the A-frame at Pleasant Valley, we would absolutely need a storage facility. It's conceivable that we will keep the A-frame, so we would be able to have the board remove this from the request. But the planning department would like this at least as a template to start working.
Rita?
It was my understanding that the town wanted to sell the Pleasant Valley site, so they would not include that storage in the sale?
Well, you want to talk about that?
That's correct. That's kind of a flag-shaped piece of land, and they could actually slice that off fairly easily. Some persons within the town are agreeable to that, but it hasn't been determined yet, but that's what we're asking for, and some people have been in
If they
favor.
did sell the whole piece of property, then we would need the storage facility, absolutely.
And what about storage at Fitch Middle School?
We don't have anything to do with Fitch Middle School any longer.
I know, but what I'm saying is if you couldn't use the PV frame building, is there any possibility of using a part of the Fitch Middle School?
That has not been,
Something viable?
yeah, we've asked many times and it's never been approved.
And then my other question, I'm not sure at NEA and CK, the refinishing of the exterior glowing beams, what are those?
Yeah, they're glue lamb beams.
Glue
They're the
lamb.
wooden beams that are outside the building.
Oh, yes, the ones, yeah.
They're 10 years old, and they're weathered, and they definitely need to be resealed. It's a
Okay.
pretty big project.
I hope that the Groton 2020, the the committee that is looking at building our new buildings will consider these kinds of maintenance issues. I mean, if we knew that these were going to have to be refinished every 10 years at the current cost of $150,000, and who knows 10 years from now, you know, I know the architects come in with these wonderful ideas, but there's $150,000 we could be using for textbooks at the high school, upgrading the computers that are so woefully deficient up there, and the software. So I really hope that committee takes seriously what these ongoing maintenance costs are, you know, to make it look pretty.
Both the Permanent School Building Committee and both sets of architects are pretty aware of our concerns with regard to maintenance, long-term maintenance costs.
Awesome.
And I haven't seen anything like wood beams outside, for instance.
Attractive but expensive.
That's right.
They're pretty conservative buildings, in my opinion.
Any other questions? Any discussion?
I'm all fine.
All right, so all those in favor of the motion that's on the floor for, and I am going to state that it's for the 20,
FY20.
to approve the FY20 CIP plan, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried. All right, the next one, Rita, would you be willing to read?
Yes. Number 3, to approve the 2019 graduation date as June 21st, 2019. I so move.
Can I have a second?
I second my niece's graduation day.
All right, so we got a second for discussion? Dr. Bernier?
The somewhat concerning idea here is that gives us 5 snow days, 5 emergency days. So I'm, as I look at my friends over here, you know, hopefully, it would be the 21st, obviously, of June if we experience more, especially last year we had 8. If we had 8 days, we would have to extend it. But having the date, and then, as you know, right after April 1st, we'll do another one, then no matter what happens after April 1st, we can keep that date. But I think for planning purposes, the students, their families, the post-graduation party, everyone needs a date, and they need to know what the board thinks. And this would be, school would actually end on the Friday before. School is scheduled to end on the 14th. So this would give us 5 days. You know, we started after Labor Day this year, so, you know, we may be cutting it a little close, but we'll make sure we get our days in, and I'll continue to monitor this and let you know where we are.
Any other questions about that? All right, all those in favor of the graduation date currently to be June 21st, 2019, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstain? Oppose? Motion has carried. Lee, would you be willing just to read the motion part of number 4?
I will.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action.
Just the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. To approve Michael Grenier and Sam Kilpatrick as authorized assigners of reimbursement claims for the child nutrition programs.
Can I please have a second? Second. Andrea? All right, can I have a discussion on that?
Well, this is a form, we are already part of the child nutrition program, but the program requires that the minutes of the Board of Ed reflect that Sam and I have been authorized to sign for the program, and the secretary of the board has to sign indicating that she agrees with our signatures.
I just had a question. Why wouldn't it be Mrs. Austin?
We just waited up, don't worry.
He's not there, so I signed for him.
Well,
You know.
yeah, I guess it could be, Sam has been handling the supervision of the food service program, and I sign for the overall supervision of it, but I guess it could be.
Any other discussion?
I'm just waiting out.
All right, all those in favor of the motion to approve Dr. Grenier and Sam Kilpatrick as authorized signers of the reimbursement claims for the child nutrition program, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Motion has carried, and we have to take a 2-second break to change the tapes. That's why I was suddenly talking very fast. All right, are we back? Okay. All right, so we have 2 more items that are on our agenda that go into executive session. So I would like us to, just for the sake of people being here, instead of like having them wait and having them come back to hear what our information and proposals and advanced planning, to get those done and then go back to the executive sessions. I'm hoping that that kind of makes sense. So Katrina, do you have information and proposals, communications that you have had about the board in the past month? Okay. Question?
I did get to attend Fitch Open House.
Awesome.
I was invited up to hand out information about Start With Low with the Renaissance Club, and they are a fantastic bunch of kids.
Awesome.
Let me tell you, there should be pictures posted soon.
I just really am so appreciative that you've taken the Sandy Hook promise on and to be that like liaison for us from the board. I think that that's really kind of cool.
Well, I have a partner in that. It's not just me. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Gretchen?
I have nothing, except for maybe we should add checking for mold in this room. Sorry.
I have several. You stole my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to say what a beautiful day it was at the high school, and that was due to Linda Branch and her staff. That school, to use your words, sparkled. It was just beautiful. And I wasn't able to get to any of the other schools this year, but I'm sure that each one of them looked like the high school. It's gorgeous. That's one. The second thing was I went to the MYP training, and it was fabulous. If our children are thinking at the level that those workshops showed us, that this is going to be a fabulous program. And finally, I have the Martin Luther King Scholars to announce, and Fitch has 3. The dinner is on the 18th of October. Everyone is invited to purchase a ticket. It's at the Marriott, and here they are. Jaden Lehman, Lizette Perez, and Brittany Toussaint from our high school. So congratulations.
And we will invite them. We will invite them to the October meeting.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to the dinner.
Fabulous kids.
Yay. And once again, thank you for your leadership on the Martin Luther King. That's just...
Just a small footnote, combining 2 things. One of the MYP teachers said she presents at schools all over the world, and this was the cleanest high school she's ever seen in all of her years. And we let Linda Branch know that.
Great. Jay?
Sort of related, I went to the meeting where EB was discussing their $850 million expansion, which obviously is going to bring in even more people. I believe the head of HR said they've hired 5,000 so far. I'm not sure what the full target is, but obviously something to keep an eye on when we think about swing space as more people are coming into the area and all of that. I also attended the Fitch High School open house and the Cutler open house. I believe West Side's this week, so I hope to go to that as well. And MYP definitely was a theme. Most of the teachers, explained how that's going to fit in, how the curriculum will fit into the framework. And everyone seemed very excited about it. I know it's a lot of hard work, and I'm sure that they were putting on a good face, because I know behind the scenes they work very hard. And so I do want to recognize the professionalism and hard work that our teachers have put in to roll this out in what seems to me like a very short time. It's easy for us to say, let's do this, but there where the rubber meets the road, And I had a chance at Cutler to see the new music lab they have there. They spoke to the music teacher about the guitar class that she's starting, and they also have that video studio, which they're using sonalists as consultants to do that. So it's very exciting what's happening in the schools.
Thank you.
Well, I was wondering if, I sent a letter to CABE, and could you say anything about our kids at CABE?
Yes, I just delivered 2 invitations to our student representatives. Saturday, there's this, at the Cape Convention from all around the state, it's a Friday and Saturday, but on Saturday, students are invited, and so I just invited Dan and Addie, and I'll check with them, and hopefully they'll check their calendars, and we'll get them to participate in the student program. It's really a great thing, and of course, we'd love to have the 2 of you represent us.
Yes, Charlie.
Next. I heard from 2 Navy families that had issues with registering their children in school, that the central office staff is inflexible, and I just think it's something that maybe you could have a discussion about. I know, and they actually had to go back to the schools themselves because they couldn't get the date, and there were just some different issues. So that is a concern.
Do you have their name?
No. I mean, I wouldn't. No.
Well, I mean, if they
So
could
maybe
talk to
that
me,
just,
I'd appreciate it.
so maybe if you do, maybe that could be sent to Dr. Grenier
Yeah.
so that he can.
Yeah,
follow
well, I
up on
didn't
that.
mean on camera. I meant if you could get me some information, I'd like to look
Right.
into it. Yeah.
Okay. And my other one is, I know October 1st is coming. I'll be very interested in getting the new enrollment data.
Yes.
That'll come. And I was very happy to see that our Cutler Middle School is, the enrollment went up from last year from 471 to 499, and at Westside from 450 up to 487. Obviously, children in the district are wanting to come back to the schools, I think, because of the MYP program, and the high school also is up, which is very positive. My concern, again, is with the kindergarten classes at SB Butler, and I've been told that there's a cap on paras, that we are not, that we're not allowed to hire any more paras. Is that true?
Well,
Or is that a discussion could we have at a
There's a budget for paras, and, yeah, when a para is needed, we often see if we can rearrange to have a para. Or we have to exceed the budget, which means we're going to have to.
I think it's, in terms of safety and what's best for the child, it's better to exceed the budget than it is to say no.
Right.
So,
Well,
anyway, but I think
yeah.
that's a discussion for a future meeting.
Sure.
And and I was wondering, when you do provide us with the October 1st enrollment data, you have the FETs blank for Cutler and West Side. I would like to see those. I mean, I know the high school is difficult to do, but you can do the FETs, the FTEs for Cutler and West Side. You know.
Oh, I see,
Yeah,
yes.
we have it
Yeah,
for our
I gotcha.
elementary.
Mhm. I did-
But it'd be nice to have
Yeah.
those listed, how many
Okay.
students are in each of the classes for the core subjects.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. And so I was able to attend the Royal Run to celebrate Dan and my birthday at Bluff Point, and as always, I didn't follow the instructions or the rules, and my walk was the full run, but it was nice. And I enjoyed that quite a bit. And that also, I've been in communication, and I think I'm going to need to send this to you, Sue, but the woman who runs the library program for the youth and children, she would love to have a collaborative relationship with the public schools. I guess there is a one card. Oh, I can't remember my name, but there's a way that we can actually have kids get their library card and use it within the public school. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of different ways of doing that, but she would love to have a more collaborative relationship. So I thought I would send it to you, and that you could then parcel that out to the people that makes the most sense to. All right? All right, so I wanted to let you know. And so advanced planning, we have got lots of stuff that is on our calendar. We are back. Summer is quite over, as Mr. Kilpatrick said. And then just pay attention to the meeting dates of the town bodies, please. And we have lots of stuff that I think that we are going to be able to chomp on for agenda items, and that Dr. Grenier and I will do a little bit more refining on that. But it sounds like Martin Luther King people will be coming to our next full October meeting. And it looks like we need to have some conversations with Mr. Romano, who is our athletic director. So I think that we've got some things that have come from tonight's meeting. All right, if no one else has anything else?
I have a question. I wonder if you could approach Mr. Ackeries and ask him to put the names of the MLK scholars on the bulletin board outside. East Line has theirs up, so I'd like to see ours up.
That would be very fun, and that it's worthy of that. All right, so we are going to, I would like, Katrina.
I did not mention, and Kim brought it up, I'm sorry, Susan brought it up, the implicit bias administrative retreat. I also went to that, and there will be another one. You'll let me know when it is. There's a second part of it.
We actually had that at the retreat when we entered, when we started the
Oh,
day,
okay.
but we will be having her back, and I
Yeah.
think that you have requested to have her, so we were just talking about maybe even having her visit us when we have our Board of Ed retreat.
Okay.
That might be a good topic.
She was amazing.
She was amazing.
That would be swell. All right, I'm going to make a motion to have the board go into executive session, inviting Dr. Grenier. And I think that that's all that we would need. I don't think we need Susan for this. Is that correct?
Why can't she come?
But she can come.
She can if she'd like.
Do I have
But,
to?
no, you don't. I will invite you to not
Do we need
come.
Ken for the conversation? And with the possibility of our business manager for the conversations around the wage increases.
Ken would be helpful, but Susan's been doing a ton of work. and
Okay.
Would not be a bad thing.
All right, so I am going to, entertain a motion to, for the board to go into executive session for purposes of talking about the non-union personal wages and salaries, and also the ratification of the secretary's contract, with the invite of Dr. Grenier and our business manager, Ken Knight.
So moved.
Can I have a second? I mean, that is a second. Okay, so with that said, we are going to be moving into executive session.